Professional tax abolished in Odisha. Yes, you heard right. Odisha government has abolished professional tax. But does that mean every employer can simply stop deducting professional tax from salary? Or what happens to professional tax already deducted? So what about old arrears, returns, registrations and pending proceedings about professional tax? And most importantly, from which date professional tax has actually been abolished? Let's understand the complete position of the Act with the legal background and practical implications. Friends, I am C. Ghanshyam Mehra and you are watching C. Ghanshyam Explains. Let's discuss in details about professional tax and its abolition. Before going to detailed discussion of a professional tax repeal, let's watch the official gazette notification about the repeal of professional tax in Odisha. Friend, this is the commercial odisatax.gov.in. On OVT এবং অন্যান্য ট্যাব you will see Odisha বৃত্তিগত কর আইন, and upon clicking on it you will see the বিজ্ঞপ্তি আদেশ circular, notice and circulars. Upon clicking on it, the Odisha State Tax on Professions, Trades, Callings and Employment Repeal Ordinance 2026. You will see the Odisha Gazette notification extraordinarily published by the authority. It's the 21st April 2026. Odisha Ordinance 02 of 2026. The Odisha State Tax on Professions, all these things. The impact of these notifications or main contents are: the ordinance may be called the Odisha State Tax on Professions, Trade, Callings and Employments Repeal Ordinance Act 2026. And the ordinance shall come into force with effect from 1st April 2026. So the Odisha State Tax on Professions, Trades, Callings and Employments Act 2000 is hereby repealed. The repeal of the said act shall not affect its previous operation or anything duly done or action taken, including orders passed, returns submitted or notices issued, assessments made, taxes paid or arrears of tax to be realized. What does that mean? Previous things will not be abolished. From 1st April, only professional tax deductions has been abolished. And any right, obligation, and any investigation, legal proceedings, or remedy in respect of any such right, obligation before the 1st April 2026, this period, these things will be applicable. So let's understand the repeal ordinance of 2026. The Odisha government has repealed the Odisha State Tax on Professions, Trades, Callings and Employments Act 2000. The repeal has been made through the Odisha State Tax on Professions, Trades, Callings and Employments Repeal Ordinance 2026. And the crucial date is 1st April 2026. From 1st April 2026 onwards, no need to deduct and deposit the professional tax. So it will be said that for financial year 2026-27, professional tax is no longer payable under the Odisha Professional Tax law. Then what does this mean for employees? Suppose an employee was earlier subject to professional tax before 1st April 2026, the employer would deduct professional tax from the employee's salary according to the applicable slab. But from April 2026 onwards, there is no professional tax liability under the repealed Odisha Act. So therefore, employers should not continue making professional tax deductions from salary for periods beginning on or after 1st April 2026. So friends, remember, if from April 2026, your salary slips includes professional tax, then check it and complain it, and it will be added it will be refundable and on application. So that this means the employer's salary should no longer contain the Odisha professional tax deduction. So please check it. Even if businessmen and other persons for whom professional tax was earlier applicable, they don't need to deposit the professional tax on or after 1st April 2026. So what should employers do actually? This is where the announcement becomes practically more important for the employers. Employers should review their payroll systems first. If your employer's payroll system is still automatically deducting professional tax every month, it needs to be updated. The employer should check. What points should be checked? There are few points to be checked by the employers: salary structure, payroll software, professional tax deduction settings, employee salary slips, accounting entries related to professional tax, statutory payment processes relating to professional tax, and professional tax returns and compliance. In simple word, don't just stop the payment, update the entire payroll system. Then important thing is, what about professional tax relating to the earlier period? Now comes to the earlier period deductions which are not deposited. Abolition of the tax does not automatically wipe out all liabilities. Suppose professional tax was payable for a period ending on 31st March 2006, but the amount remained unpaid. Can the government still recover it? Yes, government will recover it. So the repeal contains the provisions for matters relating to the period before repeal. Therefore, all professional tax liabilities do not simply disappear because the law has been repealed. Similarly, existing proceedings, assessments, notices, or other action relating to the earlier period can continue in accordance with the saving provisions. Professional tax already deducted and not deposited by the employer, then it will be deposited. Already deducted till 31st March 2026, it will be deposited. So date is 31st March 2026 and 1st April 2026. Till 31st March 2020, professional tax was applicable. However, from 1st April 2026, professional tax has been Act 2000 has been repealed. So another point is registration of the professional tax. If professional tax has been abolished, what should I do with my existing professional tax registration? So business should examine the applicable departmental proceedings. Let me correct. Departmental procedure regarding existing registrations, enrollment, pending returns, outstanding dues, and closure or compliance requirement. In particular, if there are old pending professional tax liabilities or returns, they should not be ignored merely because the tax has now been abolished. why did Odisha abolish professional tax? The interesting or most important part is the government has stated that there was a demand for abolition of professional tax. One of the consideration was that income is already subject to income tax and professional tax was viewed as an additional tax burden. So the government estimated the revenue forgone because of the abolition at approximately rupees 300 crore per annum. So this is not merely an administrative change, it is a tax policy decision. By repealing this act, government losing rupees 300 crore per annum. So suppose an employee was paying professional tax every month until March 2026. So professional tax was applicable till March 2026. Yes. However, April 2026, professional tax under the Odisha Act, it's repealed. Therefore, if the employer still continues deducting the same professional tax from April 2026 salary simply because the payroll software has not been updated or changed, that requires correction, and you may ask your employer to refund that amount, as I already told in the beginning. So important date, remember please, 31st March 2026 and 1st April 2026. So 4 points should be remembered by accountants, HR professionals, payroll teams, and employers. First, it's payroll. Ensure professional tax is not being automatically deducted from April 2026 onwards. It's very important. Second, if there is any pending compliances, please check it. And any outstanding dues, any returns needs to be outstanding dues needs to be deposited, or any outstanding returns needs to be filed, then comply it with immediate effect. Important point about outstanding liability. Check the ledger for unpaid professional tax relating to the period up to 31st March 2026, and documentation is main part. Keep the repeal notification as I shown in my videos. Repeal notification, download it and keep it in your record, and any other notification, if there is any, please download it and keep it in your record. Professional tax is not equivalent with income tax. I mentioned income tax only, that why did Odisha abolish professional tax? So professional tax was a state tax, whereas the income tax is a central tax. And it will not automatically non-deduction of TDS on employee salary. So it is only professional tax. So let's conclude it and summarize it. Professional tax in Odisha has been abolished with effect from 1st April 2026. For financial year 26-27 onwards, no fresh professional tax liability arises under the repealed Odisha Professional Tax Law. Employers should therefore review their payroll systems and stop deductions for the post-abolition period. But remember, abolition is prospective from the effective date. It does not simply erase liabilities relating to earlier periods. So if you are an employer, accountant, payroll professional, or tax practitioner, don't just change the salary slip. Check the complete compliance trail. And if you want more such practical explanations of important Odisha tax and compliance developments, subscribe to this channel. I am C. Ghanshyam Beura and this is C. Ghanshyam Explains. I will see in the next video. Namaskar. Thank you.